That's the type of win where you just give a fist pump for it and go, let's go. What a win for the Mariners. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome in to the Seattle Mariners postgame recap. The Mariners defeat the Twins tonight, 6-5. They improved to 41-37 on the season. And again, if the season ended today, we'd be seeing postseason baseball as we get just 3 games away now from the halfway point of the season. Crazy that we're already there. Felt like we just had opening day. Before I go any further, as always, do me a favor, like the video. You all know how much it helps out. Comment your thoughts of the team and the game down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm 18 subs away from 4,800, so maybe we can reach that number tonight. Nice round number, always feels good. Channel members, I'm going to try to go live tomorrow, but I did hear there might be some rain in the forecast. Probably, yeah, maybe I could do game 2 of a doubleheader Thursday. I do have some work stuff. So it might be tough. If not, I will try to get a couple immaculate grid videos up for y'all. And then I will definitely do a live at some point during the Texas Rangers series because we are overdue for a live stream. We haven't done one since that Angel series. So the Mariners get a huge W tonight. Because now at worst case, and listen, I don't want the series split anymore because you've won the first 2. Splitting now would feel very disappointing. But even if you did split the series, even if the Twins do win the next 2, not impossible, you've secured the season series against the Twins, which could matter come September for sure. And you'd walk out of here at worst 4-3 on this pretty brutal road trip with the Cubs, Twins, and Rangers. That's not the worst thing ever. Would it stink after winning the first 2? 100%. We don't want it to get to that point. We want to see this team win at least one more of the series and win it. They've got a golden opportunity to do that now. They've just got to find a way to split the last 2 here. But even the worst case scenario now, and this is what you do when you win these games, you put yourself in a position where the worst case scenario is not the worst overall outcome ever, if that makes sense. I hope it does. I want to be very clear. I do not want to split. They've won the first 2. Go win this series. Twins are reeling a little bit. They just lost the game with their one of the best relief pitchers in the planet on the mound in the 9th inning. They came back from down 5-0. They've got to be feeling like they can't do anything right. But Twins, by the way, have lost 9 straight 1-run games. I cannot tell you the amount of things that would be thrown in my house if the Mariners lost 9 straight 1-run games. You're a Twins. I'm not even trying to laugh at that. I feel it. We know that pain of losing games like that. It is so frustrating. You can't do anything right. So the Mariners do have an opportunity here to really, take it to the Twins. But I'm just pointing out that even if they did lose the next 2, while it would stink, it's also not like you could take a deep breath and go, you're 4-3 on a tough road trip. Go to Texas, win the series, 6-4, go home. But now this has a chance to turn into a really solid road trip. Now you've taken a road trip that, looked like originally it might be, a bit of a mess, and you've turned it into one where you're legitimately making up some solid ground here. I know Houston keeps winning. And again, it feels like last year where you just can't catch a break against Houston, but you're not letting it get out of hand. You're still in the division race and you're gaining ground on your wild card lead and on the teams in front of you that I all think are beatable. Tampa looks really good. I don't think Toronto's some powerhouse that the Mariners couldn't pass for the second wild card. So all things considered, I think the Mariners are in pretty good shape. Let's get a little bit into the game today. Listen, Luis Castillo was not good. That's brutal, blowing a 5-run lead just 2 innings later. And especially against a team like the Twins where you don't want to give a team that's struggling that momentum, right? The Twins are reeling. They come back from 5-0. You give them hope, right? You don't want to do that you don't want to do it against any team, but especially a team that's been reeling, get them back believing a little bit. It's also a team in Minnesota that you don't want to give up those leads because you just don't want to get into a bullpen battle against them. You know how good the back in their bullpen is. Now, the Mariners won that battle today, so kudos, huge. But it's not a team that you want to make it a battle of the bullpens against. They have some electric arms down there. I don't want to say the Mariners were lucky to get that run in the 9th. They helped create it. But certainly you're not going to get many runs off Duran in the course of a season. So just brutal that Castillo blew that. He was not sharp. Listen, were there some things in that 4th inning where he gave up the 4 runs? There were some seeing eye singles. But, he walks Cody Clemens. That can't happen. Then gives up the double to Jeffers after getting the Ty France double play, a chance to get out of that inning. And it's not like, I was a little bit more forgiving with the pitchers in Chicago because the wind was blowing out. And that Cubs lineup is a top, probably 5 minimum, top 5 lineup in baseball. I don't think the Twins have a bad lineup at all, but by WRC plus, it's league average. It's more of a pitcher's ballpark in Minnesota. So there's no reason for Castillo to blow that lead there. It cannot happen because it will cost you ball games down the road. Again, I'm not saying the Mariners were fortunate to win this one. They earned it. They scored those 5 runs and added on. The bullpen was fantastic. But you just eventually, a team will beat you in a game like that. And the Mariners aren't good enough to be able to survive blowing 5-run leads. It's not the 2001 Mariners that can blow a 14-2 lead against Cleveland and bounce back and you go, baseball. Or even the 2022 Mariners, not saying they were amazing, they were good. They certainly weren't 0-1 Mariners. When they blew that 11-2 lead against Kansas City, it was late in the year. They were already pretty well locked into a wild card spot. It was just a matter of time. Doesn't mean it wasn't frustrating, but you can kind of move on from it. We're too much in the thick of this season, and not comparing 11-2 and 14-2 to 5-0, but we're too much in the thick of the season to be blowing those leads. I'm not expecting the pitchers to be perfect, but Castillo's got to be able to get through 5 or 6 there with 2 or 3 earned runs, hold the lead, and then turn it over to the bullpen. An unacceptable start. I'm actually more forgiving of like Emerson Hancock in Chicago than I'm starting this. And Castillo's better than this. He's a veteran. He's got to go out there, and I've praised him for that this season, that he's kind of, with Kirby and Gilbert being out, he's gone out there and given them some ace starts. But just on the road seems to struggle. I'm not necessarily worried about Castillo necessarily. Like, it does happen, obviously, but that is not a good quality start. I will say, after that bad 4th, he did get them the 5th, got him through the 5th, which allowed them, the Mariners and Dan, to turn it over to the good part of your bullpens, the Vargas, Spires, Brashes, and Munoz's of the world. So, I mean, that was good. And early on, I thought Castillo looked pretty sharp. So, and like I said, listen, the balls were hit hard by Larnach, Brooksley, and Correa, but there were some seeing eye singles in there. It's really the walk to Cody Clemens can't happen. He gives up the bomb to Jeffers that almost got out. And then the home run to Clemens in the previous inning was a little frustrating as well. So not going to dwell on it too much, but needs to be better. And this is a team that, and here I said, I'm not going to dwell on, I'm going to talk about it again. The Mariners are a team that they are built that if they get a 5-run lead, that should be lights out. The pitching's got to be better all around, not just Castillo. Feel fine about Logan Gilbert. Kirby is, I think, pitched better, but still not back. Hancock was bad his last time. Woo's been fantastic, but you got to get better pitching, and that's all around, not just Castillo today. But this Mariners team, 5-0 top of the 3rd, you should feel pretty good that's lights out, game over. So let's go ahead. Oh, I was going to talk real quick. And the offense continues, right? 6 more runs today. It would have been nice if they could have added another run maybe in the middle there. But this Twins bullpen is really good. So once you got Paddock out of the game, it was going to be tough to add on. I mean, I kind of thought maybe get this to the 10th and you can get something cooking. And the Mariners do get a 5-run 3rd, right? Like, if you score 13 runs in a game, who cares if it all came in the first inning? You still put up the runs. Still another good offensive day for the team. I love when the bottom of the order gets on Cole Young and Ben Williamson. It always seems to spark a little bit of a rally for this team. That's what you need out of the bottom of the order. They don't have to be amazing superstars. They've just got to be guys that can handle the bat. And Williamson and Cole Young have done that so far. I know OPS is respectively 602 and 586. Pretty bleak. But their batting averages are 255 each, which, yeah, I'm not a big batting average guy, but if you can find a way to put bat on ball, even if you're not getting a ton of extra base hits, you're at least, it's kind of a high OBP, low slugging type player where at least there's a chance you're going to get on. And then let the sluggers behind you in the order, the JPs to an extent, Cal, Randy, Julio, Rayleigh, Canzone, let them slug and you just find a way on base. So real nice job. The bottom of the order starts the rally today. I mean, Solano, 2 more hits. Cal on base 3 times with a double, a single, and a walk. Didn't get the home run, but still an impactful day. I'll even give Julio credit. Like, got 2 sac flies, right? And the first one got the Mariners on the board, and the last one won them the game. Do I think they were great at bats? Not necessarily. He got down 0-2 quickly, but down 0-2, or excuse me, the 9th inning was down 0-2. The first one, he was up 3-1, actually probably swung at ball 4. But where have we been the most critical of Julio? in those at-bats where there's runners on base and not finding a way to get the run in. What have I been critical of the team of? Same thing, right? You got to get that runner in from third. Julio did that twice today. He found a way to get the run in. 0-2 against Duran. Not sure why Duran threw a fastball down the middle to Julio necessarily at 101. Certainly has speed enough to get past anybody, but thought it was a little too middle. But Julio drives it to right field and gets the game-winning run home. In the third inning, he gets the party started with the first run. Would I have preferred a walk there? Of course. It would have been 1-0, and you keep the carousel going round and round. Would I prefer to double into the gap in the ninth? Sure. But against Duran, I mean, you're lucky you got to run, to be honest. So if we're going to be critical of Julio in those spots, which we have been, and rightfully so, he deserves praise when he does find a way to get the run in. Now just mixing a couple hits with that, and we're cooking. So let's go ahead and get into the box score today. Luis Castillo throws 91 pitches, 60 for strikes, 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, 3 Ks, gave up the home run to Clemens. Not good enough. Again, got through the 5, which is nice. It made it so the bullpen isn't completely, worn down and worn out. So that was good by Castillo. But other than that, not a good enough start. Needs to miss more bats and starts like this. So hopefully he'll be better. Listen, his ERA is 3.69. Castillo has been good this year. Again, he's not the ace of 22-23, but if you can get Gilbert going, which it looks like he will be. Last couple starts or first 2 starts back have been solid. Woo's been tremendous. You don't need Castillo to be an ace. Just kind of need him to be a perfect middle of that rotation with starts where he looks like a top end starter kind of guy. And he has been that for the most part. So we'll see him in Texas next start. So hopefully he bounces back there. Nice job by Gabe Spire, 2/3 of an inning. Gives up the hit to Wallner. Frustrating there, lefty on lefty, because Wallner does not hit lefties well at all. Just found a way to pull it down the line, but did get Castro to pop out. Got France to fly out. That was actually more disappointing to me because he had France 0-2, and France drove a ball to deep right field. Sorry, I had to do a quick pause there. But yeah, France drove the ball to deep right field 0-2. You'd prefer a little bit better result there. But then he got Castro to pop up with the runner at third and less than 2 outs. So good job there by Spire. Thought Vargas really threw the ball well, inning at third. No strikeouts, but no hits, 1 walk. And the 1 walk was to, I think, Larnick, who has just killed the Mariners this year. So not the worst walk in the world. How about Dan going to Andres Munoz in the 8th inning and Brash for the 9th? I don't hate it. The middle of the order was up there in the 8th inning. Munoz hasn't pitched in a while. You've got Duran looming in the 9th inning there. So it's going to be tough to score a run. Dan turns it over to his best arm in the 8th. Munoz has a beautiful 8th inning. I was a little worried Munoz hasn't pitched in a while that he wouldn't be super sharp. I think he was as sharp as he's ever looked. 2 strikeouts, no walks, no hits. And I thought Matt Brash looked sensational in the 9th inning. One of his better appearances of the year. Strikes out Willie Castro, and then 2 weak grounders of Jeffers and Bader to end the game. So Dan getting a little creative. I like it. I think you've got a good enough bullpen, especially at the back end with Munoz and Brash, that you can do stuff like this. The Mariners did it for a long time with Sewald and Munoz. I know that, Dan has talked about, and so is Munoz, that he's more comfortable in the 9th inning. And that's fine. And I have no problem with trying to use him in the 9th more often than not. But there are some instances where it's going to call for him to pitch in other situations. I don't even mind getting super creative. And if the bases are loaded, 1 out in the 7th and the middle of the order's up and you're up by a run, I'm not against using Munoz in spots like that either. Use your best arm for the toughest situations. And you have Matt Brash behind that can finish it up like he did today. And again, I thought Brash, I think one of his best outings of the year. And Willie Castro, who's been a pest for the Mariners against the Mariners this year. Jeffers can get into him. And Bader's been, a decent hitter in his career as well. So I thought Dan managed it well, and I thought that was good. Brash probably down tomorrow, but Munoz should be good to go. I would imagine so, because Munoz only threw 15 pitches. So I would think there's no reason you couldn't get Munoz tomorrow. And again, sounds like possibly a rain out tomorrow. We'll see. That would be tough, doubleheader, but it would give the team a day off here, which probably isn't the worst thing. Then you got to play 2 in a day, so you get right back at it. But I actually don't know if it would be the worst thing possible. Then if you can split the doubleheader, you win the series. It would be tough, though, going to Texas with no days off and having just played a doubleheader. You'd probably have to make a bullpen roster move here. Let's get into the lineup. Mariners put up 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks. So, not quite the 11 yesterday, but again, this is now 47 runs in 5 games for the offense. The fact that this is their worst offensive performance in a week is very impressive. JP struggled a little bit in this series. He was 0 for 3, did score a run. It was funny when JP got hit by the pitch in the 9th inning. I actually sat there and said that might have been a bad hit by pitch because, listen, it's not even anything to do with Julio or anything, but against Duran, or I always get Duran or Duran. I think it's Duran, whatever. I guess not whatever. It's the guy's name, but you know what I mean. But yeah, if that didn't hit JP, it would have been a wild pitch and scored a run. And, and against a relief pitcher that good, you're never sure if you're going to get that run in or if you're going to be able to make it happen. So I was kind of actually hoping it didn't hit JP Crawford, but it ended up working out fine. So JP does reach base once by the hit by pitch. Julio 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, does get the 2 sac flies. I don't think Julio had a good game necessarily, but did find a way to get 2 huge runs in, including the game winner, and got down 0-2 there in the 9th inning. And I thought he was going to strike out. I did. I figured he was going to strike out there, and he found a way to elevate the ball. Not just like a fly ball. He hit it deep to right field. I wouldn't even be shocked if, like, in a Yankee stadium, that's probably a home run, honestly. So nice job there by Julio. Cal, again, 2 for 4, a single, a double, and a walk. Also drives in a run. Got the party going there in the 3rd inning, and got that second run in. Randy, tough game, 0 for 4 with a walk. He had some opportunities. Again, not going to harp on too many guys not getting hit off Duran, but could have maybe busted the game open there a little bit. And I think he had an at-bat. No, he walked in that at-bat in the 3rd inning when they scored 5, so he had a good at-bat there. Luke Raley, 0 for 3 with an RBI and the hit by pitch. Donovan Solano stays hot, 2 more hits, 2 for 4. Obviously driving in the 2 runs in the 3rd inning was huge. He got that hit off Louis Varland. If you guys remember when the Twins played the Mariners back in late May, they couldn't even touch a pitch from Varland in that game. He struck out the side in like 10 pitches, and that was Julio, Cal, and Randy or Polanco or something like that. So impressive to see Solano get a hit off him. He stays hot. Canzone was 0 for 4. He did rip a line drive in that 9th inning that Brooks Lee made a great play on. Could have easily gotten the party started. So good to see that contact off an elite pitcher. Ben Williamson was 1 for 3. Again, he got the rally start in the 3rd inning. He also should have walked in that 3rd inning. That was a terrible call by the home plate umpire. And I hate that because it almost felt like I feel sorry for Paddock strike 3, to be honest, on that pitch to Williamson. That just drives me nuts. And it's a shame because, like, Ben Williamson's had trouble laying off those type of pitches this season, and he did a good job spinning on a pitch, and he wasn't rewarded for it. It just always makes me nervous with young players that they're going to start chasing that pitch then. So, it's funny that I'm going to go off on an for something like that, but when there's been so much worse calls. But that one actually really ticks me off because Ben did the right thing in that at-bat, and it was a complete feel-bad bailout strike 3 call for the pitcher. Those make me so mad. I don't mind sometimes a really good pitcher getting a bit of a call, right? If Duran gets one that's just off the edge, I get it. Munoz, same thing. I get it. Logan Gilbert, I get it. Not that Paddock's bad or anything, but he was pitching awful, and then he gets a call. Like, come on, man. Like, and it wasn't close. It wasn't even borderline. So that one actually legit made me mad. Polanco pinched hit, was hit by a pitch. The hit by the pitch was a great run producer for the Mariners today. Then Dylan Moore pinch ran for him. So a nice, easy day at the office for Polanco with maybe a little bruise on the foot. Dylan Moore scores the go-ahead run. And a nice day for Cole Young, 2 for 4. He had a huge hit in that 9th inning. In the 3rd inning, nice line drive to right field. In the 9th inning, just right back up the middle, first to third him, and the Mariners find a way to get it done. So nice job by Cole Young today. Nice job by the lineup. They worked 2 walks as well, if I didn't mention Cal. And Randy, like I said, and the 3 hit by pitches. And they were not nothing hit by pitches. Luke's produced an RBI. Polanco and JP got rallies going in the 9th inning. So they were huge hit by pitches. They were not inconsequential ones. Great win. Great win. Mariners baseball fun, right? I'm looking forward to tomorrow if we have baseball. Again, I don't think having tomorrow off is the worst thing. The doubleheader would be tough because it puts them in a tough spot going to Texas. But the good news is that they do have a doubleheader. You just got to find a way to split it, and you win this series, and you're going to Texas 42-38. You find a way to win that series, and you're sitting pretty good. So very Mariners, right? I mean, just a team you can't figure out. I mean, I'm not even like last year we knew what the team was. We knew they were an inconsistent offense that had some potential but wasn't very good with dominant pitching. This year, they're getting swept by Baltimore, losing series to the Nationals, losing series to the Angels, winning series in Wrigley Field, taking 4-5 from the Twins, sweeping the Guardians. I don't know what this team is. And even on the field, I'm not sure because they're third in WRC plus. And again, like I talked about yesterday, we're now halfway through this season. And even going back, if you want to go back to last September, I think they were actually first in baseball in WRC plus last September. So we're looking at like a sample size of, I don't know, 25 plus 75, 100 games of this being a good offense. Now, team's different last year to this year. Obviously, there's different players and stuff, but not a ton, right? Pretty much the same team. The pitching's just got to be like 15% better. I'm pulling that number completely out of my you-know-what, but I really don't know what the number is because I don't think it's been terrible. The bullpen's been pretty solid. Woo's been great. Logan, coming back, looks good. Castillo overall has been fine. The numbers are fine. It's just been some outings like this where you just don't know what to think of it really with Castillo. And Hancock's been fine, but the ERA is north of 5. So another guy you really don't know what to make of. And Kirby just hasn't gotten dialed in yet. So I don't really know. I mean, obviously I need Kirby, and Hancock to have lower ERAs. That's a simple way to put it. But that's what I'm saying, like 15 to 20% better from the pitching. I do think the offense will have inconsistent moments. It's just how they're kind of built, and they do play in a pitcher's ballpark, but that will even out, right? The pitching should be better, at home where the offense may, not be as dominant. So we'll see. For right now, enjoying it. Fun road trip so far that the Mariners are 4-1 on. See if we can keep it going tomorrow if there's a baseball game. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, go Mariners. Peace.